Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now we're going to be looking at Nigeria still in recession. Nigeria's economy is in its worst possible time. That's according to the Minister of Finance. Inflation rate shrank at 17.1%, GDP contracted, oil prices have crashed. It looks like everything that could possibly go wrong has gone wrong. Nigeria's oil production output has tumbled and the naira
remains low.
Remains very, very low. I think the last time I checked it was 435 naira to $1.
That's a long time, I guess. But at the parallel market, I think it's 470 as at yesterday.
Oh, it's gone up again?
468, yes.
Wow. Oh boy. The question is, what are the practical ways that government can deal with this and get us out of this recession? The president says that it won't take too long, but what are those that think? We have in the studio Adeoye Abodunri, private public sector administration analyst. Good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
And you'll tell us what all that grammar means. We also have a financial and management consultant, Mr. Oji Udemezwe. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. Yes, I think I want to start with you so you can tell us exactly what a private public sector administration analyst does. Let's start from there.
Okay, the word analysis is clear.
What are you analyzing?
Okay, basically administration, management, leadership, all of these words could be used interchangeably. Basically, what we're doing, all we're saying is that running any enterprise, whether government, public or private, successfully requires some rigorous thinking. All of that rigorous thinking needed to administrate any entity profitably, and all the attendant skills, tools and techniques needed to ensure that you manage successfully, especially from an administration standpoint, because it all falls on it all rises and falls on administration at the end of the day. So the application of rigorous thinking to that entire administration process is what you do at analysis, with a view to bringing out solutions to achieve your end goal, basically.
Great. Now let's go to the core of the matter, Mr. Udemezwe. The president has said that within the next 18 months, we should start feeling a way out of our recession.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you believe him? Let's start from there.
Talk is cheap. Action speaks louder than words. What gives me concern in this whole issue of recession in Nigeria is that we're only talking. We're taking no action. And we are solving this problem using wishful thinking. We believe that just a matter of time, things will get better. But we are not taking the necessary actions that will get us out of the woods. Recession means that things are not happening, are not going well, that things are going down. If you're drowning in the ocean, one needs to see the effort you're making, struggling, moving your hands and your legs so that possibly you could float and come out of the situation. But when you just stay there dead like a wood, and you're wishing and you're praying and thinking that 18 months down the line you'll get out of it, that's wishful thinking.
I don't think the government will agree with you on this.
I'm going to come to that.
They're doing everything they can.
They are not. We're going to get into that discussion in a short while. The strategy we have in this country is the strategy to wait and see if oil price will go back up. So we can go back to our groovy situation and things will get better.
So
that is a strategy I see happening. Now, we are making so much noise about agriculture, but are we taking the right steps in that direction? You know, we're still hoping. Yesterday I heard about the news from ExxonMobil. We discovered a new field of 1 billion barrels of oil, and then people are clapping again. Everything is still oil. What practical steps are we taking? Even though central bank is doing some bid to see how they can fund agriculture, but can they all do it alone? You know, policies are not being well coordinated. There's some kind of argument between the fiscal policy managers and monetary policy managers, and we are like, where do we go from there? Just for example, to show a lack of policy coordination, you have very weak domestic demand. At the same time, you have tight monetary position where interest rate is so high, people cannot even get money to spend. And you also have a government who's trying to overtax people. These three, if you combine them together, it's disaster. So there's no policy coordination, there's no right action to ensure that we begin to produce what we consume, import less. I haven't seen any emergency declared in oil refining in this country, despite so much talk we've made around all those. The only hope we now have in the medium term is maybe Dangote's refinery that will come up. These are very cheap, low-hanging fruit for this country. Can we refine our oil? Can we bring our tomatoes and rice to the market and begin to consume less of foreign exchange? I'm not seeing action.
If a state of emergency were to be declared, what do you expect to see? These refineries we've been shouting about privatizing for what? How many years? 5, 6, 7 years?
Despite the PIB being in the coolers for a long time, I expect government that will take immediate action to bring in foreign investors, private investment into oil refining. And it's cheap. It's very easy. Refining crude oil is not big technology. It's cracking, and people do it in the creeks. Why can't we do it as a nation? Why can't we quickly set up refineries? Even the ones we have we put any conscious effort to make sure that Port Harcourt, Warri, and are able to run in full capacity? What is big deal in all of that? And we see government are still running around as if things are normal. And if you can refine your oil, you cut down your FX consumption by at least 40%. That is huge.
Do you share the same sentiment with them?
At a deeper level.
Wow.
I was looking at him as if, do we live together? You see, let's say the truth. To have dreams and wishes is not the problem. If life works that way, even beggars will ride. Why? How come I'm in the channel studio this morning? I rose up, took my bath, did everything. It's not rocket science. The future will come anyway, because a minute from now is the future. 18 months is done deal. It will happen. Ceteris paribus, we don't die. The question is, what are the pragmatic steps being taken today? It's reverse engineering. If I go into 2 years' time, I'll begin to backtrack. What are the steps I need to take today to arrive at that decision-making point? And nobody has gone into this future, and I can see that they are just sitting in the room with legs stretched. If you mention, for example, agriculture and diversification, it's not a press release. Anybody can write a press release. Anybody, and the word idiot is not to abuse anybody, is an item on the IQ scale. Anybody with less intelligence can do any of these things. The key is, number one, what is the energy level? That's what he was describing. You see, if you tell me that I'm going to get married next week, thank God I'm talking to women, you guys understand what begins to happen. You understand when you call me, I must be breathing a certain way. If I take your cognition, if I take your vitals, you must have some high blood pressure called wedding fever. But if you say you're going to get in mind next week and then you are dressed as him, nothing is happening, you have not paid bride price, are you going to go and steal the wife? I mean, what's wrong with you? It's not rocket science. If you say agriculture, what are the policies? What are the agricultural products we are dealing with for the next 18 months? Who are the farmers that have been empowered?
What value chain are we driving?
What value chains are we driving? What are the partnerships we entered into? What are the products we are going to push into international community?
What incentives have you given to investors?
Thank you. What is the process between the farm today?